Hello, Lakewood Middle School students. Today I wanted to create a short video showing you how to start a new design. And also, when you start this new design, your teacher is going to require you to rename it. So it's easy for them to differentiate between which student has which design. So I'm on my main page here, where a lot of times you'll see the Learn button that we utilize. But if you go over to the left-hand side here, it'll say Create New Design. So I select that. Okay, a new work plane comes up. And also with this new work plane, up here in the top left-hand corner, so Tinkercad automatically defaults to some nonsense name. And so what we can do here is just click on that to change the name and maybe change it to the product that you're working on. So in this case, I'm going to work on the dice. And your teacher will typically ask you to put your last name so they can identify you. Okay, you click back on the work plane and you're ready to go. In the second part of the video, what I want to show you is actually how to type in a number, a specific size that you will need. So a lot of times your teacher will ask you or give you a criteria of your design, saying how big it needs to be, how tall it needs to be, and where it may need to be placed. And so in this one here, so I just pulled out this cube because as you can see, I'm still working on my dice. And so I'm going to click on one of these handles here, and it says 20. And specifically, according to our snap grid, this is 20 millimeters, which is great. If I needed to change this, I could easily click on that number and I could type it in. So I can change them all to 30 if that's what is needed. And even the height, when you take a look at the side view, it will show you that there's actually a handle on the top. I can click on that handle. This number will stay open for just a couple seconds. I can select it and change that to a certain size as well. In this next segment, what I want to do is show you how to change your work plane. Your work plane is where you are currently placing parts. It is where you are currently working. So for our dice, let me start out with something simple. I'm going to put the number or 6 dots up here on the top. And so up here on the top right is a work plane tool. I'm going to grab that and I'm going to drag this out. And you can see that it changed to the color orange. When I let go of my mouse button, anything that I now will place on that on the work plane will now appear right on top of that one work plane. Okay, if I needed to change the work plane, I can grab that from the toolbar again. Maybe this time I need to work on the front. So what I'll do is I'll just set the work plane on the front and let go of my mouse, and there you go. Once when you're all done working on all of the different sides and you wanted to go back to that blue work plane that you're used to seeing, you can grab the work plane again, bring it out. You can see that it's blue, and I'm going to lay it where it should be. And there you have it. So in this next segment, what I want to show you guys is a quick way to use copy and paste to help you create this dice. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my work plane as we talked about in the last video, and I'm going to work on the top. Okay, I am going to put 6 dots on the top. So one thing that you'll be able to see is that I've already placed 1 dot there. I just clicked on it to highlight it. Over here on the side, there's a button where it allows me to fit that shape that I selected. Zooms way in. You can use the wheel on your mouse to scroll out just a little bit, or you can use one of these zoom in, zoom out buttons. Okay, so I have one sphere that is a hole on the shape so far, and it's selected. To help me do, rather than recreating this sphere again, I can simply go up to the top here, do copy, paste, and I'm going to use the arrow keys to move that out of the way. copy, paste. Okay, as I said, I need 6 total. But actually, here's an even faster way, is now that I've already done that once, paste. There's a 4th. Paste. There's my 5th. Paste. There's the 6th. So now that I have these 6 dots on the top, I'm ready to push them into the top of the die just a little bit. But first, I need to get them aligned a little bit better than where they are. I mean, a regular die does not look like this. So one thing to help me get this into a better position is I'm going to change my snap grid. So before I do that, let me increase the size of my snap grid. So when I select a dot, here's what the snap grid does for me. I selected a dot. Every time I use the arrow, an arrow key to move it, it makes it jump really far. And sometimes it doesn't help me to align my pieces that well. So if I go down here, I can click on my snap grid. I can change it to something really small, like 0.1, 1/10 of a millimeter. And now, when I click on the arrow keys, you can see that it hardly moves. So I'm going to move these around until I feel that they look pretty good, and then I'm going to come back and show you guys how to use the alignment tool. So I just finished getting these dots in a close position to where I want them to be, but they're still not exact. And so what I'm going to do here is I want them all to be in a row. I want them to be aligned. So I'm going to select more than one piece. So here's one dot. I'm going to hold down the Shift key and click a second dot and even a third. Okay, and so now it says up here that I've selected 3 shapes, and also this option right here becomes open up. Okay, that's the group button. But before I group, I actually want to go to alignment. Okay, alignment at first looks really bizarre, but let me show you what this is saying. So you have all of these dots. You have dots, these black dots on the side, on the top, and also even going up and down. Okay, and each one of these is a feature. So if I was to select this dot right here, you can see that the other dots slide over to that spot. This dot in the center is showing me that all the dots are going to get lined up in using their centers. Okay, over here, so these are ones I don't want to use because look, what's going to happen is all those dots are going to get merged right on top of each other. So I feel that this one's probably the best option for me right now. There we go. Okay, I can see that there's still more space between these two than here. So I'm going to come back here. I'm now going to select these two by hitting Shift and this one. I'm going to go up to my alignment tool again. I really like the placement of this dot. So I'm going to get the one on the left to slide up. Nice. Okay, this one I'm actually going to use the mount or the arrow keys just to get it smidged up just a little bit. I'm going to eyeball it, and that one to me now looks pretty good. Okay, this guy is out of whack. So I'm going to click on that one and the one I just messed with. I'm going to align them and move them both up. It's really starting to look like the 6 dots on a die right now. Okay, grab this one, hit Shift, grab the second one, go to Alignment Tool, slide it up. Okay, one last thing is now that even though they're in a line, this going across and this side is in a line, the left side is not. So I'm going to select these 3. I'm going to click on my alignment tool and take a look at this. Okay, I kind of like this one the best. Get all those to move in just a little bit, but they'll end up being on this dotted line that's on the right-hand side. Love it. Okay, so now there's one last thing I need to do, and that's actually push these dots into that cube a little bit. So one quick way to do it is I'm going to select them all. Shift and select them all. Okay, I'm going to go up to my group tool, my grouping tool right here. Okay, so now what I do to one is going to happen to the whole thing. And the only thing I want to do is to change the height on the work plane. So I'm going to rotate this down a little bit. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Okay, you can see that these dots or these spheres are sitting on top of that die right now. They need to be pushed in a little bit. How much they get pushed in is really up to you. But the process is the same. I'm going to click on this black triangle here on the top, and I'm going to just slide it down a little bit. That's looking pretty good. I think I like that. So let's go take one quick look around it. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. So what I'm going to choose to do now is, so this is one side of it is done, is I'm going to select all of it. There we go. Love it. Okay, guys. It's up to you now to do the other 5 sides. Don't forget that you have to put your initials on the side that has the 3 dots. All right. Hey, good luck.